Hey family, welcome back to Reclaiming the Throne. Today we're diving into the story of Mansa Musa, the ruler who turned Mali into one of the richest and most powerful empires in history. The Mali Empire was already a force to be reckoned with, rich in resources, culture, and influence. But under Mansa Musa's reign, it transformed into an unstoppable force, a powerhouse of wealth, knowledge, and faith. Mansa Musa didn't just conquer with force, he expanded his empire through brilliant strategy, diplomacy, and vision. A masterful military leader, Mansa Musa expanded his empire by conquering new territories and securing vital trade routes. But Musa didn't rely on force alone. He forged powerful alliances that strengthened his empire from within. The Mali Empire possessed what the world lusted after: gold. Not just riches, but rivers of it. Pure, plentiful, and seemingly without end. In fact, Mali controlled more than half of the world's gold supply, a treasure trove so vast it shifted the balance of global power. This wasn't mere chance. Mansa Musa's vision, strategy, and leadership turned Mali into the wealthiest empire on earth. Mansa Musa was more than a king. He was a shrewd businessman, turning Mali's wealth into a global empire. Mansa Musa knew that trade wasn't just about wealth, it was about influence, and he used it to expand his empire's reach across Africa and beyond. Mansa Musa didn't just control wealth, he established key trade routes across the vast Sahara, connecting Mali to the world's most powerful empires. Camels trekked across the scorching Sahara, carrying gold, salt, ivory, and sadly enslaved people, the lifeblood of Mansa Musa's thriving trade empire. Through these trade routes, Mali amassed incredible wealth, transforming it into a global powerhouse that no one could ignore. These routes transformed Mali from a regional power to a global player, linking it to the vast networks of trade stretching from Africa to Europe and Asia. Mansa Musa's reign ushered in a golden age for Mali, a period of unprecedented wealth, cultural flourishing, and influence that would echo through history. Gold wasn't the only thing Mansa Musa possessed. It was his vision that turned Mali into a center of knowledge, art, and religion. It was about more than gold. It was about prosperity, growth, and building an empire that radiated power, influence, and opportunity. Mansa Musa proved to the world that Africa wasn't just a land of resources. It was a powerhouse of wealth, culture, and influence. In 1324, Mansa Musa set out on a journey so grand, it would capture the world's attention and rewrite history. This wasn't just any trip. It was a legendary pilgrimage that would stun the world and define his legacy. It was a sacred pilgrimage to Mecca, a journey of faith that would become one of the most legendary displays of wealth in history. Known as the Hajj, this journey is a sacred obligation for Muslims, a spiritual path every believer must walk at least once if they're able. But Mansa Musa didn't travel lightly. He took thousands of people with him. Soldiers, servants, and scholars joined the massive caravan. They traveled in style with camels laden with gold. Imagine a parade of wealth stretching for miles. The journey caused a stir everywhere they went. People were astonished by Mansa Musa's wealth and generosity. He gave away gold freely, helping the poor and building mosques. His generosity was legendary, but there was another effect. Mansa Musa's spending spree actually impacted the economies of the places he visited. The influx of gold caused inflation. Prices soared in cities like Cairo. It took years for these economies to stabilize. This pilgrimage cemented Mansa Musa's place in history. He wasn't just a king, he was a global figure. He showed the world the might and majesty of the Mali Empire. Mansa Musa's wealth was legendary, but he was more than just rich. He was a devout Muslim. He cared deeply about education and knowledge. He wanted Mali to be a center of learning. He invested heavily in schools and libraries. He invited scholars from all over the Islamic world to Timbuktu. They came to teach and share their knowledge. Timbuktu became a renowned center of Islamic scholarship. Mansa Musa also had a passion for architecture. He ordered the construction of magnificent mosques. These mosques were not just places of worship, they were masterpieces of art and design. They still stand today, a testament to Mansa Musa's vision. He transformed Mali's capital, Niamey, into a thriving metropolis. He built palaces, mosques, and public buildings. He improved infrastructure, making Niamey a true center of power and culture. Mansa Musa's reign was a time of peace and prosperity for Mali. He left behind a legacy of intellectual and architectural achievement. He made Mali a beacon of civilization in West Africa. Mansa Musa's legend didn't stay in Africa. It echoed across continents, reaching the courts of Europe and beyond. European mapmakers had heard tales of his wealth and his empire. They began to include Mali on their maps. One famous map, the Catalan Atlas, shows Mansa Musa in all his glory. He sits on a throne, holding a golden orb. This map helped introduce Mali to a wider world. It showed that Africa was not a dark continent, it was a land of riches and sophistication. Mansa Musa died in 1337. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on. He left behind a strong and prosperous empire. He had put Mali on the map, literally and figuratively. Today Mansa Musa is remembered as a symbol of Africa's golden age. He is a reminder that Africa has a rich and complex history. He inspires us to learn more about the continent and its people. Mansa Musa's story teaches us that true wealth lies not just in gold, it lies in knowledge, in faith, and in leaving the world a better place than you found it. Thanks for tuning in, family. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the stories that shape our history.